Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Colin Cowherd podcast, all of our NFL instant reactions, and more football content.
Fun fact, I've never sat and just had a one-on-one with Klatt for a while because, it's what Cowherd does. And I'm very excited to talk to him. A lot of tough, hard-hitting questions about my Jets. But real quick, briefly, I wanted to talk about what did not happen at the trade deadline yesterday. And I think Colin might have started this 6 weeks ago. Should the Eagles trade A.J. Brown? And, I was here snickering like, bro, what are you talking about? And then things were kind of wobbly. And I started to think, well, maybe there's a world where they trade him. Anyways, the Eagles do not trade him, which was smart, obviously. He's a stud. He's a top 10 receiver in the league. You need him to beat man coverage. We know Jalen Hurts has kind of struggled against the zone with only one option. I thought it was a good move. But if you look around the league, interestingly, the best teams, nothing. You guys see what the Buffalo Bills did yesterday? Nothing. They didn't listen to the outside noise, unlike Jerry Jones, who basically is listening to TikTok. He's like the elected officials in this country. What's going on online? I've got to react to it. Like, that's what Jerry Jones is doing. The smart people, Howie Roseman, Buffalo Bills. By the way, did the Lions do much yesterday? They're one of the favorites. Did the Green Bay Packers after losing Tucker Kraft, the tight end? How about the Kansas City Chiefs? Did they do anything? Nope. Listen closely to what Howie Roseman said about the Eagles standing pat.
When you're trying to be a great team, it's hard to trade great players. And A.J. Brown's a great player. He wears the C for a reason. He's an important part of this team, of this organization. He cares about winning. He cares about his teammates. And, I think that when you're a team like ours that is looking forward to an opportunity to compete for a championship, you just don't get rid of the guys like that. And so feel very lucky to have him on our team and excited about the second half of the season with him.
Very well said. I love it. Howie Roseman just keeps winning. And I'll just wrap up with a fun stat from the staff this morning. You know who's made 10 trades in the last 8.5 months? The Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jets are making moves. Not a great sign. So smart teams do nothing, right? And the bad, desperate teams, the Colts, the Cowboys, they're reaching and grasping at straws. All right, let's bring on Joel Klatt, the voice of college football, the former legendary quarterback at Colorado.
Oh, legendary.
I want to go over his...
Oh, man, they put a little tower up here.
Yes,
Last time I was up here, I was so low. Hi, Rachel.
Some of us are only 5'3" and need a little
you need a little
some
boost. That's exactly right. What's going on, man? How are you?
It's so good to have you here. Former college baseball star? Can we...
Never played in college. I played minor league
Minor league baseball.
Right after high school,
yeah. Legendary.
Didn't go that well.
Yeah, well, hey, it's tough out there. In the streets,
it is. It is.
Joel's calling Indiana Penn State. I tried to talk Chris Felica into maybe taking the points with the Nittany Lions. Any chance of that?
I'm not going to get into the points on the game that I'm calling. I will say, Indiana is as good of a team as there is in the country. They're complete. What I love is talking with opposing coaches, and you get an idea of the weaknesses for the other teams, even more so than just watching the film yourself. And what's fascinating to me over the last couple of years is that when I talk with anybody that has either played Indiana or is about to play Indiana, they all say the same thing, which is this is the best coach team that we have played. And it's one of the reasons why I think Indiana was so aggressive, locking up Curt Cignetti as the job openings started to fly around the country. They are incredibly well coached. They've got a Heisman caliber quarterback. They run the football as well as anybody in the country. In fact, I think they're second in the Power 4 running the ball. 5 times they've run it for over 300 yards, and their defense is top 10. So there's not a lot of holes with this Indiana team. I'm excited to cover them again as Penn State just tries to kind of keep themselves afloat. First game there since they fired James Franklin, so that'll be an interesting environment.
Should be half full stadium, maybe? I don't know.
let's hope it's a little more than that. Come on, Penn State faithful.
So I want to ask, I love talking to the announcers here at Fox because you guys meet with the coaches and players.
Yeah.
And so you've met with Mendoza, I would assume, multiple times. So as a Jets fan, we now have a war chest of draft picks. And I was lukewarm on Mendoza. And then I read this Wall Street Journal article about his LinkedIn page. He's graduating from the Haas School of Business at Cal. I mean, this guy's had internships at big time, real jobs. He's super intelligent. And I'm talking myself into Mendoza. I want to know, what's he like when you meet him? We know what he's like on the field.
I mean this in the most positive sense, okay? But the first time I sat down with him, I was like, is this like Kirk Cousins just coming back? He is very similar to Kirk Cousins, very similar in the way that they approach. Very smart. I will say, like, he can be a little robotic, and then as the conversation went on, it got more fluid and better. But he's process oriented. He is an incredible player. He's very accurate with the football. He's smart, and he's developed into what I think is going to be easily a top 10 pick. To me, it comes down to style. So if you're an organization or a team in the National Football League that wants to major in short passing, efficiency, RPO style, run pass option style offense, and there are those out there. Think of Mike McDaniels at the Dolphins. There's others. You know, Mendoza is going to be a great option for you. Whereas like Ty Simpson from Alabama is a little bit more push the ball down the field, a little bit better in the intermediate zones. Those two are going to be widely considered, maybe 1 and 2. I think Lenora Sellers will get some action as one of the better quarterbacks as well, just because of skill set and traits. But to me, if I was up there and selecting in the top 5, the question would be Ty Simpson or Fernando Mendoza. I think that they're that good.
So let me ask you, as a former quarterback, are you of the belief that, you know, let's just use the Jets. Hey, we see what Mendoza does really well. We want to draft him and then cater to his skill set.
100%.
Okay, so I would agree with that.
100%. You've got to have the right fit or else it doesn't work.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson is obviously the great example. Hey, this guy can run. He can't do much else. We're just going to cater to his skills, and then he developed the other ones, became a great passer. So when you see Mendoza, 6'5", big strapping guy, but you said the word process. I hear process, I think Brock Purdy. Now, Purdy's obviously much smaller.
He would do really well in one of those offenses.
Oh, a Kyle Shanahan offense?
Yeah. I mean, everyone does well in a Kyle Shanahan offenses. But because he's so smart and accurate with the football and on time with the football, anybody like a Sean Payton, I mean, obviously Sean's not drafting a quarterback, but I'm just trying to give you an example of these styles of offenses that he would flourish in. He would do very well in those. When you watch him play, one of the things that he does that's very subtle is that he's what I would call like on platform very quickly. Very quickly. So when he gets that ball and he takes that one punch step and then he's ready and then he's got a very quick release and he's accurate with the ball and he knows what he's looking at. So from my standpoint, that's what's going to pay dividends for him in particular early in his career as an NFL quarterback is the fact that he can be on time and on target. It doesn't take him a long time to throw. It doesn't take him a long time to process information. Everything happens fast. And when you're moving from the college level to the NFL level, that's the single trait that can help you succeed the earliest.
I did hear his brother's at Indiana.
Yeah, that's right.
What year is he?
He's a younger guy. So he gets in, like Fernando goes out there, he starts blowing people out, and then his brother gets in the ball game, and he's over running around on the sidelines. That's great.
It's not a lock that Mendoza comes out. Before we get to Simpson, Indiana, Penn State, what are you hearing on the Penn State job? Because I'm not hearing good things at this point.
Well, it's not that you're not hearing good things. It's just that it's a tough process right now for everybody, whether it's Florida or LSU. And the reason is because the candidates that you would like have either got locked up already, like Curt Cignetti or Matt Rule at Nebraska got an extension. Dan Lanning has come out and said unequivocally, I'm not leaving Oregon. Well, these are some of the main targets. Maybe not Matt Rule, but at least there was a tie to Penn State. So it leaves the pool of candidates is starting to minimize even before you get into a real full search towards the end of the year. And yet the timing of the calendar in college football is so broken that you've got to be ready to go in December. You've got to sign a high school class in the first week of December and then be ready for the transfer portal, which is now in the month of January. So if you're not ready to go by then, what happens? Where do you go if you're hiring a coach? So, for example, let's just say one of these jobs, whether it's Penn State or LSU, and they decide, you know what, Lane Kiffin is our guy. Lane has not gotten an extension, or at least hasn't signed one at Ole Miss yet. He has not come out and said, I'm not leaving Ole Miss. So now Florida is going to target him. In fact, I know that they've already targeted him. And given Florida is talking about an offer, if it hasn't already hit his desk, it is to make him the second highest paid coach in college football. Wow. That's going to be matched by LSU. I'm almost certain about that. If Penn State wanted to get in there, well, here's the problem. If Ole Miss goes to the playoff and they play into the second and the third round, Lane's still coaching at Ole Miss during the transfer portal window being open, so he doesn't even have an ability to build a roster. Yeah. So that's what's broken about college football from a calendar perspective. That's why I would look at guys like an Alex Golish at South Florida, who's done a heck of a job at South Florida. That could be a name that's popped up. I think Brian Hartline is a name the assistant coach at Ohio State that's going to pop up. These guys that could potentially move before the transfer portal window and not be tied to a team that could be still playing in the middle of January.
And anything on James Franklin before we get to the college football rankings?
I've heard that he's pretty close to Virginia Tech. He will definitely coach again, and he will have success. The guy was not a bad football coach. He came up short in the most difficult games out there, namely like Michigan when they're in the top 5 or Ohio State when they're in the top 5. So he's going to go someplace, and he's going to make them a better program. James is a heck of a football coach, and I hope he gets back in, and I know that he will.
I spent 2 years at Virginia Tech, the Jim Druckenmiller era.
Yeah.
Had a couple classes with those guys. I think Franklin.
I can just see J-Mac just jumping up and down to Enter Sandman at Lane Stadium.
Some goof-off football players in the back of the class, and I would kind of matriculate toward them because I was at the school paper. Nobody cares about that. Anyways, let's get to the college football playoff rankings. Joel, I didn't see anything to get very upset about.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a pretty good ranking, to be honest with you. As solid of a first committee ranking as I've seen in the playoff era, going back to the 4-team playoff. Here's one of the things that I think helps the committee out is the expanded 12-team playoff. Because we have an understanding now, just intuitively, that, okay, this is going to play out. BYU and Texas Tech are going to play this weekend. Iowa and Oregon are going to play this weekend. A&M has to travel, and they're going to be on the road at Missouri. A couple of things that stood out to me, though, just takeaways, major takeaways from the top 25. Number one is that this committee values the Big Ten much more so than the AP does. Like, for instance, the team with the biggest discrepancy between the two polls is actually Iowa. Iowa is ranked, if you will, just outside of the top 25 by the AP at 26. Well, there are +6 at 20 for the committee, and I think rightly so. The AP has devalued the middle of the Big Ten all year long. I'm not sure why, but you also have Michigan sitting there, USC sitting there, Washington sitting there. So now there's a path for a Big Ten team to be the 4th team. Like, let's just say one of those teams can win out and be 10-2, then there's definitely a path. Another thing that stood out to me is Texas at 11. I thought that the committee was telling us if Texas goes 9-3, we're probably going to put them in. They're sitting on 2 losses now, but think about it now. Think about it. They already have them above OU. Obviously, they beat OU.
Yep.
They have them above Utah. Utah has nothing on their schedule that would propel them above Texas. And there is no way the ACC is going to get valued over Texas because we already see that. The highest ACC team is ranked 14 with Virginia. So here's Texas, and down the stretch, they've got to travel to Athens and play Georgia, and then they're going to host Texas A&M, the number 3 team in the country and the number 5 team in the country. Well, if you value wins, one of those wins is going to keep them or even elevate them all the way inside of the top 10. Which means I think that they could lose one of those games and still be included in the playoff.
Can they get in with losing both?
No, 8-4, they're out because OU could win out. Then you could have one of those 10-2 Big Ten teams. There's a host of other things.
They're not winning at Georgia. Come on.
They might.
No.
Georgia is. Do you remember Rick Riley? Even though I'm not a huge fan of Rick, which is fine. I can't believe I just said that. Yeah. He wrote an article way back in the day about Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, and how Tiger was just, watching him play golf was just rigid and focused, and then watching Phil Mickelson play golf was like watching a drunk chase a balloon next to a cliff. Okay. He had this line. I don't know why it's always stuck with it. It's just
his line or yours?
That was his line.
Okay.
His line.
Okay.
And for Georgia, it kind of reminds me of that.
Ooh.
Because it's why are you behind in all of these games? Every SEC game, it's like they're down. They have to create some great play. They're at the whim of a review, like they were on that 3rd down catch, no catch against Florida. Florida's sitting there. If they get the 4th and 1, they could salt the game away. And so I don't think that it's just a surefire, absolutely, Georgia's going to beat that Texas team, because Texas is actually playing their best football right now.
Well, it's interesting.
They were handling Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt.
And then nearly choked it away. You're right. They were spotty early during the season. So let me pivot to ask about Arch. I mean, he was pretty rotten early in the season. Okay, dreadful. I like your word better than mine.
We tiptoe around because of his last name, but even those guys would probably appreciate honesty. Arch was dreadful early in the year, and he's gotten better in the last couple of weeks.
He was good, but can he go to Georgia and perform like he did against Vandy? And then that A&M game, that's not a layup, even though they're at home. Where are you on Arch? Have you seen a major progression?
Arch is a decent to average college football quarterback early in his career, and he's going to need at least 20 more starts to be even remotely ready for the National Football League.
A guy in year 3, we can still say it's early in his career?
Well, as far as number of starts, he's early in his career. You know, again, this position, the position of quarterback, there is no way you can replicate it. So I don't care if it's your 3rd year in college or if it's your 1st year in college. The only thing that matters is number of games started. Yep. Okay? Now, can you be a little more comfortable? Sure, I guess. But you can't replicate the position anywhere other than on the field live in games. And so as he's starting to develop, as he's starting to start more games, you're starting to see him get a little bit better. Now, we all thought he was going to come out and be gangbusters and be Trevor Lawrence right away, or Bear Bachmeier, the quarterback at BYU, is 8-0 right now as a true freshman, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. But here's what this position is all about, is reps and experience. If you take a look at, since the turn of the century, the quarterbacks that have actually won Super Bowls. So you take a look at the list of guys that have actually won Super Bowls, and I think we've talked about this on the show, and I'm sure you've been riveted over, you know, in the corner as I'm saying this to Colin. But the average college career of all the guys that have won Super Bowls is around 30 to 34 starts in college football. You have to have a deep level of experience before you get to the NFL. So here's everyone, fans out there, just let Arch play a couple of years.
Okay.
Again, he is 20 starts away from being remotely close to an NFL level.
Okay, so to that point, a quick aside to my guy, Ty Simpson at Alabama. I love what I've seen from him. You just said him and Mendoza, top 10 picks. He's got like 9 starts.
I would choose Mendoza because of that very specific thing.
Just wanted to make sure that.
Now, he's likely going to come out. He's going to be rated up there. But again, the experience factor would tend to, if you're just looking at history, favor a guy like Mendoza because he started more games.
Simpson sat behind a bunch of guys who were like, Anyways, Cowherd's now texting me. He wants a question about USC. Your thoughts?
Of course he does. I was going to say we were about to get through one of these without USC.
Well, your guy Lincoln Riley, after the win over Nebraska, was complaining, hey, we ended our game after midnight. We have to fly back in the middle of the night.
I can't
now we got
stand
a Friday
when coaches
game.
Complain about the schedule. Listen, coaches, all of you, and all of you that do this. Do you like the money or not? Because that's what it is. You know, you all complain about not having enough money to pay your players now and the revenue share and all that. Like, we're paying $167 million in buyout money in college football. That revenue needs to come somewhere. Guess where it comes from? Television. You know, like, deal with it. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I really
He might have been joking. He might have been joking.
I'm sure that he was. And Lincoln generally, I would say, is better about that than others. So if he was joking, you know, that's good. He finished after midnight plenty of times in the Pac-12 when they were in Pac-12 after dark.
Yeah.
Listen, is travel and game kick times more difficult in college than it is in the NFL? Yeah. You know, but we also don't split games up. So you're not on regional television in college football. You're on national television in college football. I thought that win for USC was really important for them, winning on the road. There's this old adage I've always thought, you lose big before you lose small before you win small, and you win small before you win big. And they're turning that corner from losing small, those one-possession games a year ago, to now winning some of those games. And the way that they did it, leaning into their run game, not having a great performance from their quarterback, Jaden Maiava, that's important for them. You know, if they just go out there and Maiava throws for 400 and they win by a score, it's like, okay, did we really learn anything or grow as USC? No. But if you go out there and you win with defense after the injury, obviously, to Dylan Raiola, which is a bummer for Nebraska, but they leaned into the run game. They got it done. Maiava was not good in that game, and they still win. Now they're set up as a one-loss Big Ten team in conference, obviously, after losing to Notre Dame and Illinois, but one loss in conference. And they've got a chance to be 10-2.
Oh, that's my next question. So I'm looking at the schedule. Northwestern, that's a win this week. Versus Iowa, that'll be tough, but I think they win that.
Very tough.
And then the Oregon game. Is the Oregon game essentially the season for Lincoln Riley? Like, you win that, you're going to the playoffs.
I mean, yes, the way that the schedule lines up, but they still have to handle their business. And a team like Iowa is still their kryptonite. Yeah. Iowa does not care at all. They will run it 52 times. They can't throw the football, and they're going to play great defense. So Maava likely struggles again against Iowa, even if that game is at home. And they're going to have to win in a gritty, low-scoring fashion. So of all the games, I think Oregon is the biggest threat because it's Oregon and it's on the road.
Right.
But the sneaky game, the sneaky tough one for USC is going to be that Iowa game.
Yeah, remember, that Illinois game was kind of fluky at the end. They could have won that easily. And then Notre Dame, I believe, was a one-score game with like 7 minutes left.
They definitely had their chances. They blew it on special teams. They failed in short yardage, didn't lean into the run game, and they couldn't stop the run. And Iowa, again, will run it 52 times. They will not care, and they will shrink the game down. Maava might only get the ball 7 times in that game.
Yeah, not ideal. I know the buyouts are everywhere. Is Lincoln Riley 100% safe?
Yeah, he's safe.
Okay, that's what I think.
He's safe. I do think that this team, I think they finish at least 9-3. That not only retains Riley, obviously, but it also retains their class. This is the #1 recruiting class in all of college football. The trajectory for USC is actually very positive. Everyone gets so upset at Colin and I because they're like, stop talking about USC. And I get it because Colin always brings it up. But that program is on the correct trajectory. And like I said, go through that process. Lose big, lose small, win big. Yeah. And they're on that train.
Last one, we got to talk about Lane Kiffin. I don't know, are you close to him? Because he loves to talk to the media. He's getting combative. I know you said earlier he hasn't ruled out anything. He's not going to the NFL, right? This Miami Dolphins nonsense. I cannot see that.
No, I see Lane at LSU.
Really?
I do. That's a top 3 job in the sport.
Gosh, it's too late in the interview. The last time you said that here, I was biting my tongue. Like,
why? What's better?
It's just not anymore. Historically, yes, and I know in the past everybody's won, but don't you feel the playing field has leveled to the point that LSU's not that much better of a job
than what?
Than Ole Miss. I mean,
than Ole Miss.
Lane Kiffin's calling the shots right now. No, for Lane Kiffin right now.
I almost fell off this platform.
Hold on, for
you
Lane
think LSU is a better job than, or excuse me, Ole Miss
for Lane Kiffin right now.
For Lane.
So the money's not that different, Joel. Okay, he runs the show. He's got total. He can say whatever he wants. At LSU, who's calling the shots there, by the way?
Did Colin just text you?
No, he's not. I haven't looked at my phone. He's dealing with the board of governors. Yeah, Colin and I disagree greatly on this. I just think the landscape has changed with NIL, collectives. I thought this was going to be just a really good experience, and then you hit me with that right at the end. So just to be clear, it's for Lane Kiffin, not anyone else. Like, Lane Kiffin is running things. He doesn't answer to nobody at Ole Miss.
I disagree.
Okay, so, Lane Kiffin says, Joel, why do you, I want to take the LSU job. Sell me on it. Confirm.
I don't have to sell you on it. One, you can open up the back door and you can get a top 4 recruiting class, just regionally.
Fair.
They have more resources than anyone maybe other than Oregon. It's just quieter than Oregon's. They've got...
More than Texas?
Oh, yeah.
Ohio State?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Multiple billions.
Sure hasn't shown up in those playoff trips the last 5 years.
They were able to build a roster that was pretty substantial. And granted, I don't think Brian Kelly was a good fit there. Lane would probably be a great fit at LSU.
And you want to wait him out, huh? Oh, yeah. January 2nd, Lane, you're in the semifinal.
We'll see.
Is that worth it?
We'll see. Lane's going to be the top 2 paid coach in college football.
Should we do a friendly wager that doesn't have to be monetary? I believe he stays at Ole Miss.
Well, what are your options? You tell me who's the better option. You don't think Lane Kiffin is a great fit, so who's a good fit?
No, I think for Lane Kiffin, staying at Ole Miss makes sense.
Okay, so who does LSU hire?
Honestly, I don't know that it's that attractive. Let me use that word, attractive of a job now, given all the upheaval with the AD, the Board of Governors, all this nonsense that's going on there. I mean, Joe, you're walking into a hornet's nest. True or false?
False. Take the crayons away. What are we doing?
All right, here we go. Colin has checked in. What about Lane in the NFL? New York Giants with Jackson Dart reunion. Yeah, no shot.
No, I said this to Colin last week. I still think that as big of issues structurally that college football has, it's still more appealing to guys that have a heart for college football because of the influence and immortality that is offered in college football that is not offered in the NFL. Fine, go work in the NFL. And you can win a Super Bowl. You can win multiple Super Bowls. And all anyone is going to care about is who was your quarterback. But in college football, like, you're the king. You know, you win a couple of national championships, and they build a statue of you out in front. And that program is always yours. You are the quarterback of that program. Plus, you still have the ability to influence 18 to 22-year-olds, grow them, develop them, you know, from young men into men. And I think that's still something that is appealing and attractive to a lot of guys that stay in the college level and is not offered at the NFL level.
Good stuff, Joel Klatt. I'm sorry to derail things with LSU.
That's all right.
We'll talk off air. You can yell at me. It's fine.
It's a good
job, of course. Yeah, just not right now. All right, coming up next, we got some news here. 2 NFL teams would not talk to each other at the deadline. Rachel's got the info for us. Back here on the Herd, wrapping up the second hour. And Rachel had some good little intel, little piece of information. You want to reveal it? I don't know that this is public info yet.
It's mainly for you because you're coming to the Lakers game tonight. Mookie Betts, Will Smith, Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, Evan Phillips. They're all coming to Lakers Spurs. The Dodgers continuing to celebrate.
Yeah.
You know, as if Freddie Freeman doing the worm wasn't enough.
So they'll be celebrating at Wembenyama, Lakers tonight. Good one. All right, Rachel. Midterms happened last night around the country. Midterm elections, very exciting stuff. We decided we'd do an NFL version of it. Here we go.
All right. I'm like your ballot, and then you can cast it, right? So ballot question number 1, J-Mac. Who gets your vote for Coach of the Year?
All right. This one, to me, is not that difficult. I'm casting my vote. See this here on the screen. Boom. For Mike Vrabel of the New England Patriots. I long believe, everybody, that if you can do more with less, you're the man for the job. And I absolutely love the move the Patriots made. I think Vrabel's been phenomenal. How about this stat? 6-0 when cornerback Christian Gonzalez plays. Breaking news, he's not on the injury report today. According to Vrabel, that's great news. Huge game for them against the Bucs. I just think Vrabel's done a phenomenal job a year ahead of schedule.
All right. Question number 2, which means we're already up to more than was on the California ballot yesterday. Who gets your vote for MVP in the midterm?
All right, this one, another layup. I'm casting my vote. Here we go. Most comeback player of the year. Oh, most valuable player of the year.
MVP, baby.
Yeah, MVP. This one was not difficult, folks, and that's Sammy Darnold. Yes, the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. I know some people, Jason, you're crazy. Guys, just by the numbers, and this is bothering me, Sam Darnold has been absolutely tremendous with Seattle. The numbers are ridiculous. I know his odds are not great, but he's the best downfield passer in the NFL. Seattle rebooted at quarterback and wide receiver 1, and they're perfectly fine. Give me Sam Darnold as the MVP.
Of till now, right? So there you go.
Just to now, yeah.
There you go. All right, who does now? Now do it. Who gets your comeback player of the year?
Yes, another easy one. My guy carrying my fantasy team. I'm casting my ballot for Christian McCaffrey. Oh my gosh, the usage is through the roof. Probably too much, but Rachel, he's been dynamic. It's interesting. Saquon Barkley really struggling this year. Christian McCaffrey, who missed most of last year, he's back with a vengeance. I'm not going to rattle off the numbers. By the way, he is the favorite to win comeback player of the year, but he's on pace for a 2,000-yard season with rushing and receiving yards, 1,000 each. Pretty impressive.
Yeah. All right. Now, so this is the part of the ballot, like when they ask you to pick judges, we're getting a little more deep
into
in the weeds, right? Who gets your vote for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
This is tough because Ibuka's been phenomenal. Tyler Warren has been transformational. T-Mac, pretty damn good. I am casting my ballot for Jackson Dart. Yes, the ladies' man in New York City. He's got the popular mom. He's very cool, swagged out. Have you seen the photos of him rolling up to New York City clubs?
Yes.
I mean, listen, he's got the drip going on. Heavy necklaces, like a white T-shirt, baggy pants. I'm like, okay, I need that look. I mean, he's been the man. And on the field, Rachel, he's got like nobody.
Yeah.
It's Malik Neighbors is gone. Scattaboo's hurt. I got to say, I was wrong on Dart. I think he's been outstanding. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Give it to me. He's a favorite, by the way.
He's got nobody, but he's got charisma, J-Mac.
Yeah, he's got the Riz, as your daughters like to say.
Right, exactly. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Who you got?
This was a little more challenging. Some strong candidates. Abdul Carter's been good, not amazing. Guys from Seattle, Dallas, Philly, all well. But I'm going to cast my vote. This is the toughest one on the ballot. Jihad Campbell, the young linebacker for the Eagles, has basically stepped into a Super Bowl winning team and not missed a beat. I cannot believe how good he's been. Second best odds right now behind Carter. He's grading out as the 4th best linebacker in the NFL as a rookie, according to Pro Football Focus. Jahad Campbell, just outstanding rookie year.
All right, so now that's the rookies. Overall, who's your vote for best offensive player of the year so far?
Yeah, I don't think this is much of a challenge. The ballot easily. I know you want to hear Jonathan Taylor, but no siree. JSN, Jackson Smith, the Jigba. He's emerged, I think, as the best receiver in the NFL. Folks, he's open on every play. Look at the stutter step at the line of scrimmage. He's shaking everybody. JSN, absolutely love it. Offensive player of the year.
Yep. And what about defense? Who's your on that side?
Defense, yeah, this one, because I don't like Jerry Jones, casting that ballot for Mr. Micah Parsons. I know Garrett had the 5-sack game. Hutchinson's been great. Micah Parsons, amazing. Plus, he's got a badass face mask. Look at that. That is cool. I cast my vote for Micah Parsons and the Super Bowl bound Green Bay Packers.
You're just as petty as the Titans owner, apparently.
Yeah, Rachel, that was good.
Who gets your vote for the team who will finish with the most regular season wins?
Yeah, I had to look at the schedule, and going forward, I'm casting my vote for the Buffalo Bills. I feel like they unlocked something during the bye week, totally bottled up Carolina, which had been rolling, and then body bagged the Chiefs in a big spot. I think they're in really good shape. The schedule bears it out. They have the Dolphins left. They have Jake Browning, Dylan Gabriel, Justin Fields. Rachel, they're cooking.
Yep. All right, so this is the last one. Which California team will finish with the better record? There's 3.
Yeah. Well, we're going to California. The screen, the segment's pretty fire, except for the damn ballot box. Yeah, California team, there it is. I'm going with the Rams because I'm buying what Cowherd is drinking, not the Mucinex, the other stuff. I think this Rams team, oh my gosh, the schedule lines up really, really well for them. They're crushing teams. How about this stat? Least penalized team in the NFL for the second straight season. And Stafford has been lights out, old man Stafford. Puka, Devontae, my vote for the Rams.
Yeah, all that hand-wringing preseason about Stafford's back and...
Totally fine. All right, coming up, final hour. I'll tell you why one team in the NFL had the greatest day in franchise history. Hint, they wear green and white jerseys.